October, November, December, and I guess September as well, the months that end with ER. These are the months when we get basically drowned with new hardware and new gadgets, whether it's iPhones, Pixels, PlayStations, Xboxes, you name it. And at this time of the year, we get to experience so many new cool features with regards to hardware, but it's easy to forget that we love to use these devices because of the software side of things. And software slowly but surely took so much of a grander stage when it comes to importance, both economically and to the user experience as well. And one very popular piece of software that I'm sure many of you use is WhatsApp. And a few days ago, they finally gave us the ability to mute conversations until the end of time. Prior to this, we had the opportunity to mute a conversation till up to a year. And after that, on a random Sunday or a Monday, you just randomly get notifications again. And it's a very useful feature to have when you have the ability to mute forever, because sometimes you're in a situation where you want to participate, but you don't want to get notified full stop. And this is the way out. I don't know why it takes so long for someone to give us this feature that we all desperately want. And sometimes it is anticipated, like in this case, and sometimes it's very, very surprising and a demand shows up from nowhere. And a prime example of this is actually because of what happened with the world with regards to the pandemic. There was a sudden increase in demand for video calling. And WhatsApp didn't stop there. They didn't stop at just introducing this mute feature. They actually went ahead and introduced the idea of being able to expand video calling capabilities to more than 8 participants. And that would directly attack Zoom, the most popular video conferencing platform there is in 2020. And if it was prior to the pandemic and you ask the question, which platform would succeed and would grow exponentially because of the sudden demand for video calling, you would say Skype. But where is Skype now? Skype, well, it still exists. Microsoft minimized the use for Skype for business and they morphed it into Microsoft Teams. And Microsoft Teams has so many issues, especially with many participants at the same time. Not as if Zoom doesn't have its own security issues, but that's a different story. But what happened to Skype is really strange, where you see that they already had the platform and there was a sudden change in demand and they couldn't keep up, while WhatsApp now are joining the battlefield, the same battle that Microsoft with Skype lost. And they're trying to push the agenda to conquer some of that sweet software money with regards to the conferencing side of things. And if you track back, WhatsApp also has introduced another feature that competes with Snapchat when they introduced stories. And we've already seen Facebook, the owner of WhatsApp, do this with Facebook, with Instagram and WhatsApp. And now they're not stopping, they're introducing time-based invisible messages or time-based expiring media where you can send a photo for 5 minutes, 5 seconds, not 5 minutes, 5 seconds until it disappears, just like the main feature of Snapchat, which is Snaps. So now WhatsApp becomes this app with software updates that started from just messaging, now into stories, into multimedia, into streaming, into sending documents, into video conferencing, into education maybe. And they also, on top of everything, are developing a separate WhatsApp Windows app. Up till this point, you can use WhatsApp on your computer only if you had your phone connected to the internet and close by. You have to scan a QR code and then you're connected. But now you can actually, sometime soon, use WhatsApp independently on your computer. So you can see Facebook are really pushing into so many features that are software based. And this gives you the idea and the reality that a piece of hardware is only as good as the software. And when you buy a new device, I'm still waiting for my new iPhone, you might not get the full capability straight away. It might, progress and becomes better with time with software. And it's really interesting, and it got me excited to finally see my iPhone that has been delayed. It was supposed to be here by today. It's not. It's supposed to be here by Tuesday, tomorrow, fingers crossed. And hopefully I'll be able to do some kind of unboxing, first impression review. I'll talk about the color and the size and how this thing feels, because I'll be jumping from a very old piece of hardware, the iPhone 6s, going to all the way to the iPhone 12. And it's going to be really interesting to see, am I amazed for the increase in hardware capabilities, or would I be more interested in seeing what software has to offer? Now you can finally mute your messages forever.